Hello everybody and welcome to the Warcraft Observer for the week of September 17 to 23. I was a little, I don't want to call it lazy recently, but I didn't have the time for the Warcraft Observer. But now we're back, at least for this week, and I want to sum up what happened last week because it's quite a bit. So let's jump right in. Here we go. As I said, the Observer, as you wish, we had quite a few tournaments here. Warcraft Gold League continued with the European Open qualifier. W League was there. Rus Brain Cup follows up with the 8th edition and the second qualifier here this time. And some cups, Xiao Y Cup, Ace Challenge, and Khozyain Cup. So, let's dive right in. The European part of the WGL qualifier started with the first Open qualifier on September 22. We had 27 players. Okay. 4 slots for the main qualifier this time to meet with the 4 players that are qualified already or invited. That is Foggy, Sonic, Cash, and Hawk. So, who made it? From the upper part of the bracket, it was Neutron, a returning old school player from Russia, and Star-Shaped, congrats Oscar, our part-time co-caster here on this channel. 2 Night Elves make it from the grid. To be honest, the favorites prevailed here as well as in the lower part of the bracket that I want to show you now. A little race diversity. Romanian Undead did it. Night End in a very hard battle over Sock Puppet. Glad to see him succeed here, the former MTW player. And the human legend from Europe, Litod, making his way into the main qualifier as well. So, we have our 8 players, and what's the bracket? The bracket looks like this. Foggy versus Star-Shaped, Cash versus Todd, this is gonna be amazing. Sonic versus Night End, and Hawk versus Neutron, which will also be amazing. I'm very, very happy with the 8 players we have here. A good mix of CIS, Europe, streamers, personalities, returning players, etc, etc. I couldn't be much more happier with what we have, and 2 players out of this grid will make it to China, will make it to Shanghai, and will make it to the World Championships of Warcraft in Winter 2018. Speaking of China, we had the W League continuing here, the Super League for $9,000, the only round-robin league that we have running since August 10, and 10 players here facing each other. We had 3 matches last week, and finally, the first matches of our Undead King 120. He won both. Against TH 2-1, giving him 2 points, and 2-0 against WFZ in a mirror match, which I certainly didn't expect. So 5 points for him. Moon won his game against WFZ as well, giving him 2 more points. But finally, the first map win for WFZ in this league. The standings are as followed. Lin, Infi, Moon, and Fly on top with 7 points each, but Lin and Lawlight only have 3 games, so they are in a slightly better position than the others. And could make it to a rank 1 if they win their matches or get some points in case of Lin. It looks very good for 120 as well, with only 2 games and 5 points. It doesn't look good at all for WFZ. Of course, Foggy, TH as well in the lower part with 2 losses, but he had some pretty hard enemies or opponents, so maybe we'll see how this goes. Very, very curious how things will develop here in the Super League. Everything is very close together with only 3 to 4 matches played, so we will continue this in October. First Division saw 4 games. It is, the second part of this league, basically. You can still claim some money here. You can still make it to the offline tournament if you succeed in the First Division. And we had 2 players dominating the last play day, the 4th play day, and that was Sock and Lucifer. They defeated So-In and Sini respectively 2-0 each, claiming 6 points for themselves, and yeah, they're dominating this league so far. Lucifer only losing 1 map, 4-0, 8-1, 11 points, very, very good for him. Sock as well. It doesn't look very good for TBC, Xiao KK, So-In, and Sini. Not too many good results. We have Chimiko, Shishi, and Blade with only 2 games each, so they could catch up to Colorful Sock and Lucifer if they succeed in their upcoming games. Back to Europe we are. Rus Brain Cup number 8 has been announced, 9th edition as well, by the way. It's gonna happen on November 17 to 18 for a prize pool of $1,300, the biggest competition we have in Europe, and we're looking for 8 players. The second qualifier looks like this. Neutron, we talked about him during the WGL European qualifiers. He made it against Hawk, against Sonic, and against Shaddai, who seems to be in tremendous shape, and qualified as the third Night Elf, as the first Russian, actually. But we have to point out as well, Neutron, really, really good, but Shaddai, man, just came back already in tremendous shape, and also in Super Bowl, a player from North America in the top 4, kinda lucky with the grid, but still, congrats to you. And the streak of Sonic is over after 5 finals in a row where he never qualified, unfortunately. This time his streak is over and he was defeated in the semifinals. So the 3 invited players were Focus, Lawlight, and Foggy, as they ended up top 3 in Rus Brain Cup 7. Blade won the first qualifier, Neutron won the second qualifier, so we just need 3 more for the main event. Back to China. There was a Xiao Y Cup on September 22 and 23 for around about $300 and saw 56 players attending. And surprise, surprise, Romantic won it. He wasn't banned from this competition, and he seems to have a very, very good matchup versus Night Elf still. 2-0 Colorful, 3-0 versus Shishi, which is a big exclamation mark, and Xiao KK claiming the 3rd spot here. Very cool to see Romantic still in touch with the scene. But unfortunately, he is still banned from other competition. But yeah, good sign for Shishi and Xiao KK as well. The 2nd division of Chinese pros doing great in this cup. Back to Europe again, we had an invite tournament by Aced. They sponsored $100 for 8 players that were invited. $70 for the winner, $30 for the runner-up. And since it was an invite tournament, Happy was in. And he won the whole thing. 2-0 over Danger, 2-0 over Foggy. Quite surprising that he was defeated twice by Blade. 3-2 in a best of 5. This is something that very rarely happens to Happy. But yeah, Blade looks very, very good. The Moldovan. 2-0 over Hawk, 2-0 over Neutron, who you saw before is capable of winning tournaments at the moment. There seems to be a new dawn in the 2nd tier of European Warcraft players with Blade, Shaddai, Sheik, and Neutron here. Very cool to see that. $70 for Happy, 30 for Blade. And last but not least, the Khozyain Cup number 5, organized and run by Sonic. He gathered some money on his stream, $27 for 23 players that attended, and the top 8 looked like this. Sonic won the whole damn thing for the 3rd time in 5 episodes, but it was a very tough cup for him. 2-1 over Starshape, 2-1 over Orc Worker, and a best of 5 3-2 over Lucifer in the final. He might not be able to qualify for Rus Brain Cup, but still, in his own cup, he thrives. Also, once again, Sheik in a semi-final, and Lucifer in the grand final. Looking good for the undead. So that was this week. I hope you enjoyed it, and I certainly hope you enjoy the new audio quality as well, as I have a new microphone. Please feel free to give some feedback on that. And what do you think? Is there a rise happening in the European scene with up-and-coming players that I mentioned before? Was there any disappointments for you? Any other surprises that you didn't expect? Is there rising stars for you that you suggest might be able to make it to the top tier of Warcraft players? That would be interesting. I mean, it's the Warcraft Observer. What are your observations about the tournament scene? Write it in the comments. I will read it and maybe feedback on it next week. I don't really know if I'm able to make it because there's so much content, but we will cover that in the next video that is called What's Up This Week. So check that out as well to see our streaming schedule. All the important links are in the stream video description. So this is Neo from Back to Warcraft with the Warcraft Observer. I hope you enjoyed it and you're up to date now. Enjoy Warcraft, enjoy Back to Warcraft, and see you next week, hopefully.